Okay, we're into the first DM match between PoJ. Nice of PoJ to have their clan tags showing for both Chocobo and Demo. So Chocobo will be playing as a Japanese and Demo playing as Persian. So as expected, it will be a Persian war down towards the south and Japanese war up towards the north. Ah, nice. Chocobo being the Japanese guy for PoJ, playing as Japanese, and Democracy of Gods, of course being American, will be taking over the Persian. Ah, he's gonna get a Vil, isn't he? That scout rush. Oh, nice. He didn't lose a Vil there. He's gonna go straight for the next Vil, but he's harassing so many villagers right now with that Hussar that he's delayed Scrath already. But now he's gonna die off because there's a camel there. And it doesn't look like Scrath's Hussar was able to do anything. I think it got there too late anyway, and now he's gonna lose it. And Democracy will have his buildings up. Looks like on the other side, the light cab from Chocobo also not able to do too much. Interesting build coming out from Magnata. You'll often see people who don't play DM drop their buildings quite far from the TC. It's an RM habit where you don't want to drop your buildings too close because then you can't drop farms. Whereas for DM players who are used to playing DM or have some experience, they'll drop it right next to the TC so that the Vils can build as soon as they come out of the TC, really. So one castle already going up for Democracy of Gods, second castle being prepared now as well, third castle actually, so 3 castles for him. Persians will be wanting to go for the war elephants, and as you can see, Scrath going for the heavy camels and halbs rather than going for the war elephants. So only one castle up, second castle going up now, so he's got a little more experience than Magnata, I would say. Magnata seems like quite an inexperienced DM player just by building placement. Population-wise, everyone fairly close together, and just this, you can just see the difference in the way they've planned out everything. Scrath is actually doing somewhat of a DM build with the barracks and the buildings really close together. This is very much a DM build where you're dropping everything close together. You're getting the heavy scorpions for Andrew to deal with, for Democracy to deal with the halbs that the other Persian player will make, and then you make a lot of elite war elephants, and basically nothing can stop that combination. Wrath also going for the right idea there, heavy scorpions himself and elite war elephants, but has quite a few heavy camels as well as halbs. On the other side, very passive here from Chocobo and Magnata. Magnata just defending with only halbs. Interesting unit choice here from Magnata, going for only halbs and onagers. That's gonna... I don't think that's gonna work out too well. Whereas if you look, we're going to see Chocobo going for heavy scorpions, champions, and halbs. Big fight in the meantime going on the other side. But it actually looks like Scrath gonna have the numbers in terms of elite war elephants. But the heavy scorpions from Demo already having done work and done their job against those halbs. And now a bit of sling coming in, no doubt from Chocobo, a bit of food. The Persian player always will be lacking food. And with the other team, the other side of the map being so worth slinging the Persian player so they can get more war elephants out on the map. Critical mass of war elephants, very important in this matchup, Persian versus Persian. So 4 castles now up for Demo, 3 castles, 4 castles as well for Scrath, who is also booming. And he's adding in he's got 2 extra TCs and another castle going up in the back, but he's already getting forced back. Looks like now we're finally seeing Magnata ready to push forward, but he's got no heavy scorpions forward with his halbs. So those heavy scorpions from Chocobo are going to force him back immediately, and he's going to have wood problems because he's gone for the halbs instead. Chocobo continuing to sling Demo so that he can push even faster on his side. Siege Rams also out for Demo now as well to take care of the Trebs that are trebbing down his castle at the front. Down go the Trebs, and I don't think Scrath is going to be able to stop this. Population-wise, Demo 120, Scrath 69. Looks like Magnata also not able to push forward, making some elite samurai now as well, but heavy scorpions counter pretty much everything here. He needs maybe a few onagers to deal with these heavy scorpions, and in the meantime, Scrath is... I don't think he's being slummed. Gonna have a quick look at Scrath's resources. Yeah, Scrath is looking really low on food and gold right now. Magnata, on the other hand, well, he's got a lot of gold, but not much food. And we'll have a look at Democracy's economy. You can see he's dropped a lot of farms. He's gonna complete that TC eventually. Elephants mainly being very farm heavy, food heavy rather units, rather than being gold heavy. So you'll see people adjust their economy, especially experienced DMers, they will drop a lot more farms, and Chocobo can also drop a lot of farms, so he can sling Demo even more food if he wants to do so, dropping castles in the corners of the maps as well to prevent raids on their trade, and setting up their trade now already. So, nice early trade for PoJ. Also trying to set up trade now for the MCL team, but the game is pretty much over now. Scrath is losing his base so quickly. In fact, we're going to see Magnata bring in Halbs to deal with this, but so many heavy Scorpions. Those Halbs are going to do nothing against this number of heavy Scorpions. Look at them, they're dead before he even gets to the elephants. It's ridiculous. Now Scrath left with 3 castles, trying to drop another castle in the back. Looks like Democracy is happy with the 5 castles, dropping another one in the middle. These castles in the middle just securing map control, and it looks like those traps as well going to deal with the onages. Nice onages there from Magnata, but it's a little too late. And Scrath is, I'm pretty sure we're going to see the GG call soon. He can't stop this. Just too much from Demo, who's now popped, and there we go. There's the GG call. Scrath down to 60-something population. And PoJ end this in just under 13 minutes. So, quick look at achievements. Economy goes to, well, Scrath having half the economy of Demo. Everyone else fairly even, and not much more to say about it, is there? It's DM. Largest army, 87 to 54, 116 for Chocobo, close to Magnata, not too far off. And received 14,500 tribute from Chocobo as well for Demo. Chocobo just having to hold up against Magnata, not really needing to do too much else, and sling his resources to Demo to end the game even faster. So that is one DM match out of the 3. Best of 3, so at least needing to win 1 more for PoJ, and then they'll have a clean sweep 5-0. Yeah. So fast, I know. It's deathmatch. Tends to be fast. I prefer random map, but always saying I don't know how to play. Oh no. Well, I think Scrath was actually okay. Does Scrath play DM? He actually had the right build and everything, so that was nice. Or maybe he had a look at the build orders before coming in and prepared for this game. I'm not sure. Either way, I think he did well for an RMer. So we're waiting on potentially the last game in this series, and if PoJ win this, it will be a 5-0 clean sweep for them, and I believe, I'm not sure how the scores are like for the brackets. I don't believe points have been updated so far. Yeah. Group stage. Maybe it's updated on WSVG, I'm not sure. You like playing AOK DM without the siege. I don't know, I think siege is such a big part of DM. It requires a lot of micro, and it's what makes it so hard. Without the siege, it's kind of like, patrol in. Whoever gets a better civ will win, that sort of thing. I think it takes a little more skill when you have the siege available. MCL rocks, big fan of MCL, I see. Okay, having a quick look at the civs this time. Mayans and Vikings, it is team random, I believe. So Demo playing as Mayans in blue and Vikings for Chocobo, same colors as before. MCL always favoring that purple, I've noticed, playing as Mayans up against Demo. So it's Mayans versus Mayans, Vikings versus Vikings. Yes. And this is what I was talking about. When you drop your buildings this far from the TC, yeah, you can drop farms around your starting TC. But when the light cav comes in for the first raid, you're walking so far back towards your TC that, you know, it's very easy for him just to bring it back and attack another villager, and you get a lot of idle time like that. And that's why you won't see most DMers go for that. So, like this, Chocobo's dropped his military building so close to the TC, he can garrison and ungarrison the villages really quickly, so he doesn't get as much idle time, and it also, his vills don't have to walk as far away. Same thing here for the Mayan player Democracy. Dropping those buildings really close means he can keep those villagers safe, and it looks like he's going straight for the Eagle Warriors, so full Eagle spam to end this game as quickly as possible against Always, who's actually gone for some Halbs, realizing now that probably doesn't need to go Halb since he's up against Mayans, and is now making his own Eagle Warriors. Does have, what, 6 barracks up? and is getting denied on more of those barracks though, and it looks like Democracy 7 barracks up, starting to make castles as well, so he'll be transitioning into those plumed archers. The Eagle Warriors are just because he can do a lot of eco harassment, micro them around, maybe trick always into making a few too many Eagle Warriors and over-investing into Eagle Warriors, which is exactly what's happening right now. Always definitely making a lot more Eagle Warriors, I think. Actually, Demo's making a lot as well. And Demo will probably stop now. No? Continuing the Eagle spam. Okay, so it's just going to be Eagle spams for Democracy, but he's killed off so many of Always villagers right now. He's not even sending that many in, but it means that Always is not able to get any buildings up right now. He's just going straight for the villagers, and that's going to deny Always of any eco, castles, and so on. So, 2 castles now up for Democracy, a 3rd castle going up, and a TC on the stone, TC going up on the gold as well. Chocobo starting to wall off, going to play more defensive on his side. Vikings versus Vikings. Not too much happening between Magnata and Chocobo now. A bit of a skirmish there. TC on the gold from Magnata. Ideally should be dropped 1 tile further away so that the saturation on the gold, Vil saturation is a little better, and he can also drop another one on the other side of the gold. That's something you'll also see quite commonly. Double TCs, 1 on either side of the gold. That just helps with the saturation, and you want the gold income really fast, because in DM one of the things that you tend to lack is gold. Now the Elite Plumed Archer transition from Democracy as well, but he's lacking gold. So he either needs a market or he needs some more gold income. Otherwise he's going to lose this fight at the front, because it looks like Always does have a lot of Eagle Warriors there, probably more than him. And because he lost so many Eagle Warriors, sending them in to delay Always' economy, he will be losing that fight. But once he can mass that critical mass of Plumed Archers as well, he'll be just fine. Now making a lot of villagers, sending them to gold. A 2nd TC coming up on that main gold as well. Usually be 1 TC on your secondary gold, 2 TCs on your main gold. Siege Workshop getting denied now as well. Chocobo saying he's going to go to your guy, as I'm going to go to your guy, and Always not doing too bad right now, since Democracy is struggling so much for gold and does not have a market. Well, Chocobo is not fully walled. He needs to finish this fortified wall right now, otherwise he's going to be in trouble. But those Plumed Archers, much cheaper than the Eagle Warriors, therefore Always, and Always is still making a lot of Eagle Warriors. He's got to stop this soon and transition into the Plumed Archers, because it's not worth it to continue going that many Eagle Warriors, especially with the champions coming in as well from the Viking players. So both teams fighting on the other side. It looks like Chocobo will be fighting uphill, but on the other hand he does have the support there from so many Plumed Archers from Democracy here, helping him out, and more Eagle Warriors coming in the back from Democracy as well. Looks like Chocobo and Democracy going to take that fight quite easily. Siege Ram's also out now for Democracy, just in case Always does go for the Plumed Archer transition now, and it looks like Chocobo's team will be able to win. Magnata with a lot of siege just in the middle of the map. It looks like Chocobo going to send some heavy scorpions there as well. And another castle, more siege workshops. Okay, a lot of siege workshops now from Democracy of Gods, and sending more and more villagers to gold, throwing down a 5th castle as well to protect their trade. So if you look at the positioning of the castles, it's going to be trying to secure the trade while you build more castles and other military buildings in the middle of the map, so that if they do go for the trade, you get plenty of warning and you have a way of dealing with it really quickly as well. And now Magnata with those Viking arms helping out, but Chocobo's just going completely into champions to deal with the Eagles, while they have the cheaper Plumed Archers there from Democracy of Gods, who will lose a treb or 2 there to the Eagle Warriors coming in from Always. Nice pick there by him, and nice micro actually, not too bad. It looks like Always playing as Mayans is one of his strongest civilizations. Did see him play as Mayans last game as well, and he did quite well, so definitely a civilization pick that ended up favoring him a little. Berserk's actually being added in by Chocobo. Okay, Berserks. That's definitely an interesting choice. He does have, he's now pushing against Magnata as well. The Treb's going to take down the Onagers, making some Onagers of his own. And now he has nothing, and it looks like Magnata will be able to pick off his Trebs in the middle of the map. In the meantime, Democracy of God's getting pushed back here a little by all these units from MCL. MCL actually doing really well right now. But the thing is, PoJ has already set up trade, more castles in the middle of their trade to protect that, and the Plumed Archer transition now begun for always, so that he won't be lacking gold too much. Eagles being so expensive in terms of gold. Chocobo sending all the champions all the way across the map. Maybe should consider dropping some barracks on the other side of the map, otherwise he's just going to walk in like this one by one and die off. But those siege rams from Democracy still getting picked off by the Eagle Warriors from Always. Very nice micro. Again, I've said this a few times, but he is microing this really well. And now it looks like Democracy could be in a bit of trouble. He does have siege rams though. They're not patrolling in front of his plumed archers, which means that it's less effective. And okay, now they are. So now those siege rams are soaking up a lot of those plumed archer damage, rather. Looks like Chocobo trying to fight up against these arbs, not going to work out too well for him with those infantry units, and Magnata will be able to push him back always in the meantime, dropping a forward siege workshops, and Chocobo getting pushed back. Still no trade? Okay, market is up now for MCL as well, but looks like Democracy of Gods just does not have the resources to keep pumping plumed archers. He's got just enough economy. He's actually not making any more villages. He's got so much food. Could consider slinging Chocobo some, maybe. Yeah, should sling Chocobo some, and Chocobo should sling him some wood, and then they will both be very happy. But MCL managing to counter push. This is really, really well played by MCL. But now, demo with some Eagle Warriors into the economies of Always, and I think he might, no, he's just going to go straight for Always here. And he will lose his forward castle, get pushed back, forced back to a hill, but a lot of trade already up and running for their team. And they, well, Chocobo's popped, Magnata's popped, Demo still got a lot more pop than Always. And he's going to find out that MCL still does not have any trade, so they're wasting their time there. Lots of onagers are there for Magnata, the right thing to do, and it looks like Chocobo with all of his scorpions cannot deal with all of these onagers. He needs to bring in a berserk to try and kill it off, but there are so many champions as well there from Magnata. It looks like Magnata going to be able to push back on that side as well, so this is going to be a longer DM game right now. Very, very well played by MCL, this particular game. I'm surprised they've been able to take it to the PoJ team. Obviously with Demo being one of the top deathmatch players. And the Treb from Chocobo should be trying to take down the Onager there, but not quite successful yet. The Scorpion's actually trying to do so. In the meantime, Always continues his push forward against Demo, who's actually dropping more barracks, making both Eagle Warriors as well as plumed archers. Still has Eagles in the back of the base of the MCL guys, but not doing anything with it. I think the Eagle Warriors are kind of to deal with the arbs there, but plumed archers he's struggling to mass up enough, and he's just going to lose even more there. The siege rams not doing too much, but with that critical mass of plumed archers from Always, those Eagle Warriors won't even get enough time to do anything against these arbs from Magnata. In the meantime, Magnata able to push Chocobo back at the same time in the middle, but score still advantage to the PoJ guys. So now trade getting raided there for the MCL team, and that's gonna hurt. They have no trade, as I mentioned before, so they are going to run out of gold much faster than PoJ. At the very least, they are pushing in right into the trade now of PoJ, almost into the trade line, but there are 3 castles there, and it looks like Andrew Demo will be repairing up those castles, making sure that they don't get taken down, otherwise their trade will be in trouble. Chocobo in the meantime just holding against Magnata, maybe pushing him back a little, but those Eagle Warriors set on defensive stance in that trade is very, very painful for MCL. They need to clear it up somehow. They can't just let them stand there. This is the best way to raid trade, by the way, with Eagles. Set them on defensive stance, have them stand in the middle of the trade, they'll kill off some trade cards, come back, they won't spend all their time chasing after a trade card, and that's going to be much more dangerous compared to actually having them just on aggressive or something like that. Okay, Chocobo saying he has resources, PoJ and Demo struggling a little now with those siege rams coming in from Always, has still managed to keep those 3 castles up and running, and now sending some Eagle Warriors into the trade as well of the PoJ team. But Eagle Warriors already from Demo going to chase those Eagle Warriors down, and there are so many castles already in the trade from PoJ, so those elite Eagle Warriors will go down pretty quickly. Whereas if you look at these Eagle Warriors, they're standing in one spot, so that makes it much more difficult. They're not running past any castles, they're not taking any damage, they're just constantly in your trade, picking off trade cards as they come past. Okay, so it looks like Always now going to run some plumed archers into the trade if he can do so, and he's doing exactly that. That's going to be very difficult for PoJ to deal with now. They've got eagles in the trade, but they don't have enough to deal with these plumed archers, and plumed archers will kill off trade so quickly. So he's changing his gather point right to the trade where he can deal with these plumed archers. He's got Eagle Warriors coming in to kill off the plumed archers as well. And still MCL does nothing about these Eagle Warriors in their trade. Only 1 champion being sent, and that is going to lose them the game. I mean, PoJ is protecting their trade really well. MCL not doing nearly enough to protect their trade. They're killing off some trade now as well, but PoJ's had trade for longer, and they've been in your trade for about the past 15 minutes, and you've done nothing about it. It's nice to have trade, but look at the amount of trade on the map for the PoJ team compared to the amount of trade for the MCL team, and look at all the dead trade cards. That was when trade was starting up. They already have had trade for some time, so it's even less important now. And you can just see the MCL team starting to run out of steam. Population's under 140 now for Always, around 140 for Magnata. Chocobo now pushing forward into the base of Magnata, who no longer has the gold, I think, for any units. Demo with a lot of gold, Always starting to run out of gold. Magnata actually has a lot of gold left, but he has nothing else. So he only has gold, and no wood, no food. Trying to make some onages, but those elite berserks from Chocobo proving too much to handle. And Always just continues to try and make those desperate runs for the trade. But these eagles from Demo are still in the trade. Yeah, he lost because so many eagles. Isn't that what I said? But those arbs later on were kind of hard to deal with as well. And it looks like the GG call. So they can't do anything. They can't hit the trade. They can't stop Chocobo from pushing forward either. And it looks like, well played Chocobo. PoJ just doing better job of defending trade and better eco balance, I guess. Demo killing off 765, largest army, fairly similar for everyone. Magnata actually having the largest army this game, but the trade was so painful. And interesting sling, Magnata 2,500 sent, 2,500 received. I assume they were just swapping resources that they didn't need. And it looks like trade profit definitely in favor of PoJ, about 4,500 for each, and only, what is that, 9,000 in total for PoJ, 2,000 trade, not even 2,000, like 1,700 trade for MCL. And if the game dragged on, MCL was just going to run out of gold. 11 castles for Demo, 4 for Always. Surprising. He had a lot of castles in the trade protecting it. And thank you guys for the game.